Hello everyone, today I'm going to be talking about something that recently I've just thought of and may actually be a slight problem in the future over Hero Arena. And that is, the harder, well the stronger characters that get released, the harder Hero Arena is going to become. A big kicker with this season was Tier. Tier was, and is, on every single team. So, it's sort of like, what are you really going to do, especially if you don't have Tier, and if you don't go first, you're not going to be able to do it. And I think that's what they're really trying to push at now, is either A, you need to invest in a bunch of really random gear sets for your characters to survive, or B, you're gonna have to out CC them in a whale, because that's what it's turning out to be at this point. Because every team has tier. We come down to here. This one doesn't have tier. Does still have the old rank team though, but I'm pretty sure 300k onwards has tier, and 300k above, so 300k plus has tier. So these three have tier, and these three have Goddess Liz instead of Bloody Ellie. Bloody Ellie, yeah. And then you go down to here. No, this one has Bloody Ellie. Is 300k just the weird one that just has Liz? Yeah. 300k is just the weird one that for some reason just has two Goddess Liz's. But overall, it's only going to get harder, especially when next season they add Demon King. You know, they might add all these other characters as well. Let's say, you know, new character comes out. What I'm kind of surprised is there's been no Purgatory melees, unless there is that sort of limit they're going to put on how broken a character is that they're going to add. So maybe they won't add Demon King, because most likely if they do add Demon King, they're going to give him Red Tarmiel Link, which I think is kind of stupid. The fact that they're able to give Red Tarmiel Link to their team, and we can't use a single link if you're doing 320k plus, which is kind of stupid. But yeah, it's going to get harder, especially when they start adding Demon King, the new Elaine, you know, all these characters. Because this season they were meant to be doing defensive and offensive teams, is what they said they were going to be doing to make Hero Arena a little bit less defensive, because most of the teams were defensive teams. They said this season they're going to do defensive and offensive. This is not an offensive team. This is defense. This is an offensive team. That's an offensive team. That's an offensive team. That's mediocre team. I don't even know if this team's offense or defense, because it normally just gets wiped turn one anyway. But this is the problem. It's now going to be you have to out CC them if you want to win. And out CC 340k, you have to be on Constellation 6 and you have to have 15 million box CC. Which currently is, well, I think it is impossible for free-to-play players at the moment. Maybe in the future it'll be possible, but currently it's not possible. And with the fact that, this is my voice, but, you know, it lost for 6 weeks, you can get, you know, 100 of these. If you were to do the hardest difficulty, it would only take you 5 weeks to be able to get. That's Creature's Nest. I'm an idiot. It would only take you 5 weeks to get an LR if you could do the hardest difficulty. Even if you're doing that hardest difficulty at the lowest, so you've done it with the minimum, you did it with like your entire box, you still have enough to get an LR in 5 weeks. Where then it will take you, you know, a lot more here, and then 10 weeks here. You know, it's kind of stupid how, you know, these two are very hard. Especially trying to go first without links. If you could use links, I think in my opinion, these two you shouldn't be able to use links. These two you should be able to use links, because it's kind of absurd. In the future, at some point, they probably will also be adding LRs to Hero Arena, which wouldn't be too fun, especially versing LRs, like LR Loftsvein, LR Escanor especially. His ability to one-shot you after you get a few, like, well, whatever it's called. What's the site called? The Blaze? I think it's called Blaze. But after a few on a Tunnel Flame, or something along the lines of that. But, like, if you're going to be versing him, and they've got Green Arthur, or even Red Arthur, or just any taunt character in general, it's going to be so painful, man. But hopefully, they do sort of learn not to make it really horrible character. I hope they don't add Demon King, because they haven't added Purg Melee. Or Barn, or Transcendent Barn wasn't added. And if you think about it, because those two aren't added, it sort of makes me feel like they've got a line, they've drawn a line with, okay, so we can't go that far, because then it will be practically impossible. You can't use links and you're versing Purgatory, not Purgatory, Transcendent Barn, you're going to struggle. Stuff like that. I'm pretty sure they've drawn some sort of line so they know okay, we can't end up using these characters because it's going to make it too hard or too impossible even for like the 300k ones. Because let's just be honest, you can disable Tyr, get him to around half HP, and he will still one-shot you. Because Tyr doesn't really care even about weak point. He has a lot of attack, and he has a lot of crit chance and crit damage. He doesn't need weak point to wipe your entire team. That's a slight problem with Tyr. Even if he doesn't crit, and you've just used the Barn debuff to lower his crit chance to 0, he's still going to do a lot of damage to you, maybe even kill some people, even through a King Shield. I had 160, I think I had like 160% damage reduction. He still nearly killed one of my characters through the King Shield with 160% damage reduction. That's absurd, how absurd he is. But the only good thing is that normally on these rag teams, he does not have Ratamio Link. It is normally this Diane, so you can just one-turn him. But the problem is that these teams are very horrible. Like Freya with Pierce hits very hard. You know, Tyr AoE hits very hard. She can even hit very hard. If you're debuffed quite a bit or you're buffed quite a bit, she can hit very hard. She does like X% more damage per debuff or buff because she removes them, and then she does extra damage depending on how many she removes. Red Tom I'm not really worried about. I'm not really worried about this team either, apart from if you go second on 340k, Roxy can be quite a pain. Because her AoE does so much damage, especially if you don't have like damage reduction or some sort of like stat lower or stat buffer. You know, you're taking a lot of damage. I'll give you a quick example. Is there one where like rags at the top? This one. This is 300k, right? Bear in mind I'm on my JP account, so like I'm an idiot. I just clicked on some random one. I want to go this one. Is it this one? Or is it this one? I don't even know which one it was. Which one was it? This one? This one. So I'm going to show you how broken this is. I'm just going to do auto, because I don't really care. I will go second. But I'm just going to show you, like, I do have a few stat buffers. This team isn't good at all. So, you know, but do bear in mind, like, this is turn 1 damage. So if let's say you're doing 340k, they're going to mince you still. Bear in mind, on 300k CC ones, most of the characters are 6'6", which is like, it's okay, but when you know you're about to win, and then you know the Festival Merlin merges to a gold card and gets ult, still turn 1 damage. This is just going second. And this is what happens if you go second. There you go. Like the only 2 people that survived is Red Tomio because he had Red Tomio Link, and good old Mael because he's got the damage reduction. But look, like 6'6" Roxy, 24k attack, turn 1. You know, they have relics as well, 6'6". They're only 2'6", but like it's still just look like this is absurd. And she gets the 10% attack related stat boost. This is turn 1. Imagine doing this on 340k CC. This is 300k CC. This is with links. Imagine doing this without links. Thankfully, I would say like 300k is doable if, of course, you're running the right teams. Like that's just a random team up. That's the judge hit auto, and it auto sent me a team. But it is possible to definitely do the higher ones with a go second team, but you do require specific gear sets, and I would definitely not recommend for anyone who's got less than like 12 million box CC or 11 million box CC and like a good constellation. Like you need to have Constellation 4 done. You can't just be like halfway through Constellation 4. You need Constellation 4 done. I'm currently like 40% through C5, Constellation 5 on my main, and I would probably still struggle with something like this. Of course, RNG is always going to be a massive factor, so that is a slight problem. But at least you can reset. You can now reset each individual tower. Like here, I can just go reset. It costs me 20 stamina, but I can reset that tower, which is really cool, and I really like that, and I think that's a cool feature. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next one. Goodbye.